You look rough, Carla. It's been like a long day.
It has been a long day.
Let's go.
I can't until it goes down.
Oh, it's got a timer.
It's got a timer, so I can't. Yeah, I was gonna fix my hair and everything, but you know what? This is reality. This is how you look when you come back from a hospital. I've had a long day.
6 hours in the emergency room, and you get a cup of coffee, right?
Well, like 4 to 5 hours. 4 to 5 hours. Yeah.
5 hour wait.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, ready to go?
All right, here. Well, yeah, mine should be coming up in a second.
I got comfortable. I put my PJs on. I had enough. I had a long day. A good day. Good day.
All right, there we go.
All right, ready to go?
Yeah.
Locked in?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. And I mean, let's go. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to another 5K tennis discussion. As usual, if we cut out, if this video stops streaming, it is an internet issue. We will start a part 2 if we can't restart this one. Hit the like button, subscribe, and that's kind of it. We have a lot to talk about, so I want to get right into it. By the way, usually these kind of topics we kind of go over and talk about and discuss, and then kind of rehearse, and then kind of go through it once and twice and again. But our 5-year-old today decided to take a fall and tore his knee wide open. So we spent, or Carla spent 6 hours?
No, 4 or 5. I don't remember. I was chatting with B-Dog, and I think I was chatting with Ethan, DA, and it was during Serena's match. So it's like 2 something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we hear him screaming. So then you said he needs stitches. So here I was munching on wasabi almonds, which I love. Wash my mouth out. I was in tennis clothes, just grabbed my bag, told Lily come with me, and when we got there, well, first of all, the hospital was like what, 45 minutes away.
No. So how, this is a great story, and it has to do with what we're going to talk about, Naomi Osaka, the first topic. And we're not going to hate on Naomi Osaka, but we're going to be real and tell you the way we feel about it, and relate that to the world in which we live today. However, in the midst of jotting all this stuff down today and having a short day for the most part, lessons, I was in the kitchen. And usually when one of my 5 kids, screams, you can tell when they're just playing or when they're hurt. You can tell the difference, a different pitch, a different energy. Mm-hmm. And so I heard my 5-year-old in pain. I knew it. So I stopped what I was doing. I ran right to him. And he was kind of hobbling in the door. And I looked at his knee, and he had like a slab of meat. So like, this is your knee. Like the front part of his knee was the meat was just hanging. And I'm like, okay, he needs stitches. He didn't realize how bad it was until he saw the flap of his knee hanging, and then when he saw it, he freaked out and started screaming worse. I've been through this before. Anyway, so I just got the slab of meat and stuck it back on his knee, and then carried him down to the car. And Carla's story takes from there.
Yeah, I went to 45 minutes away where he was born, Providence Hospital. Yeah. Go there. Of course, the emergency room is full on Memorial Day. What do you know? Full on Memorial Day. And the lady said, what happened? I showed her. Do you have someone to watch your daughter because she can't come in? I'm like, no, I live far away. It is what it is. So she let her in, gave us masks. She said, the wait won't be long. No, it was long. You have to go through a whole process. Before they wouldn't check whether you had insurance or not. Now they do. I didn't know that because before I used to go to the hospital, you get checked and everything.
And then they ask for that afterwards.
No, now they ask you before.
Now they ask for it first.
So we sat there, they put gauze on him, and 1 hour passed. My daughter got to watch a lot of sad things. Today was I think a reality check for her.
And she's speaking of my, we have another daughter, 3 boys, 2 girls, but our oldest daughter went with her to hold the meat onto his kneecap, right? So that's who she's referring to. So our oldest daughter went with our youngest son and Carla.
Yeah, we got to see people cry over husbands treating them bad. We got to see people in pain over car accidents. We got to see a helicopter land a guy who got shot in the head. Another lady who had a wound in her face. There was older people there with trouble. They had people that apparently have been sitting there for hours
Mm-hmm.
Well, we didn't get back there till 3.5 hours. They called us back. They did an X-ray. He's fine. I got to hear many people's story. A lady that got burned. It was just sad. I asked one of the ladies that was crying, "Are you okay?" And she said, "I'm okay," but she kept talking about her husband or whatever. So my daughter was kind of shocked to hear all of this. It was like, life is not always a fairy tale. People struggle through things. Um, One thing that she did get to hear in the medical field is that they can take their time to do things.
All right.
They were enjoying themselves, laughing. It's part of their job. They were in no rush to get people in nor out. I got to watch my son get 3 needles. Three, and scream.
Why? Usually.
Obviously, that has to hurt. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
an epidural hurts.
Yeah.
And then I got to watch the doctor stitch up his knee, which was pretty cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then after that, we went to go get some fast food, and
which is rare.
Right, which is
rare.
He cooked for the other kids, but my daughter got to see that side of life. I went through McDonald's for them, and I got the lady at the register had her head down like this, and I waited for her to put her head up, and I said, "I'm so sorry you're tired. I hope you get some sleep." And she said, "I'm trying to stay awake." She said, "I just want to go home and sleep." And you could see in her face that she struggles. Different from the medical field, they're all laughing. They get paid well. Well, they went to school. That's
they
why.
work very hard.
They work hard for it. My point to my daughter was, see what happens when you
study.
When you choose other paths. I said life is tougher. So what did you see from the hospital to fast food? Completely different attitudes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, it was a long day.
I got to give you props for rolling that rodeo today. That was mom shit right there. I give you no doubt about that. Really interesting day nonetheless, and we had lessons this morning to boot. Anyway, let's start this. A couple shout outs to start. First shout out to someone that takes lessons from us that is 72 years young. And his name is Bear Wharton. Surely he'll watch this at some point, but homeboy came out today and played some doubles like a man. He absolutely dominated the court. So a testament to Bear at 72 years young to have come out and learned the game with Carla and I and his wonderful wife Barbara, who's played for a while, and absolutely come out and drop bombs on that court at 72. If he can do it, anyone can do it, and he did it well. Second and last quick shout out, and this is a group shout out to everyone that's playing the fantasy team competition as well as the tennis racket giveaway / $250 / reels of strings / 5K tennis merchandise, whichever you choose. Don't be upset if you lost 2, 3, 4 people, because everyone did. I like to talk smack. I will talk that smack tomorrow when I do the entire round 1 recap. But I can assure you that myself, I only have 1 out, and there's a gentleman, Colatelli, that has 0 out. But it doesn't matter how many you have out necessarily, because a lot of anyway, I'll get into this tomorrow. Shout out to everyone on the leaderboard, and you're still on the leaderboard if you only have, let's say, 2, 3, 4 out, especially if you have none or 1 at this point. Anyway, enough said. All right.
Another shout out to Wildlife One. He sent me his Roger Federer hat. He wants to, I'm not going to show you a picture of Wildlife One because I'm sure, that was something personal.
Yeah.
But shout out to him. He's a huge Federer fan.
All right. We're going to start with the Naomi Osaka thing. This has nothing really to do with her as a person. This just has to do, let's put yourself in my shoes. If I am a, let's say, manager. Let's say, look, we're head pros. We teach the game. Let me put it, and I'm going to put this a lot of different ways, but it is the player's role, if they play Roland Garros, and the lot of the majors, if not all of them, that they have to interview. So when someone doesn't want to interview, if they don't interview, then it opens the door for everybody else not to interview. So it leads to a morale issue. Furthermore, if I have someone working for me and they don't want to do something that is my employee handbook per se at my business, which we have, I would say thank you, but our time here is done. Thank you, and I hope you're well, right? And I think the French Open said that after the fact. However, rewind a little bit.
They said we wish you well.
Carla indicated how tough life was just a moment ago with and reiterating that with her visit to the hospital. Gee whiz, my father's a retired flight surgeon, Navy, retired into private practice. I've been around emergency rooms and doctor's offices since I was a boy, and there's no fun about going to any of them for any reason whatsoever, unless you're working there, and even then it's a grind, right? Just the difference of when I was a kid in the 90s to what a kid now is today. It's like a 16-year-old in the 90s was a 45-year-old today. Do you know what I mean? The maturity is it's so disproportionate anyway. So, you know, here we are, and here we are coming off this pandemic, and we sit down and, you know, we watch this French Open. And before I talk about, I guess, my opinion on it, before I give you my take on this, and surely hers, Carla, can you show everyone a picture just to refresh their mindset about how comfortable Naomi Osaka truly is in the limelight? Now, this is a picture, and I'm not judging anyone from this picture, but correct me if my eyes aren't playing tricks on me, but I think this is her and her hip hop artist boyfriend, you know, flipping the bird at people on the center of Arthur Ashe Stadium after she won the U.S. Open.
Right. She said she's been depressed since 2018.
So, you know, she's depressed since then. Okay.
That was last year.
You know, so again, this is a young girl who's very immature that surely is, you know, there's an old saying, if you hang out with dogs, you get fleas. Mm-hmm. She got fleas with that picture. Why that picture was even permitted to be taken is a testament to how shitty her team is. Now, I'm not talking about her as a person. Let's talk about her team. Now, earlier today, I was in a conversation with a fine gentleman who is a tennis director and a wonderful teaching pro, to say the least, okay? This conversation was not here on YouTube, but I will mention his name. He gave me the thumbs up to do so, and his name is Charles Sandamonico, okay? So he just said this, and I quote, it has nothing to do with her as a person. This has to do with the team. And then I think this gentleman has plenty of credibility to make this statement. Quote, if you can't sit through a press conference, even when you win, then find a new job. Shame on her team for not preparing her for the tour. Simple, not pointing the finger at her. Boy, the last time I checked, tennis is a team effort. It comes from the parents. Now, also, we talk about the parents. Osaka grew up in a tennis family. She played since she was very young. Right. Carla, my sister, and thousands of other female tennis players, they are pushed to play the game and pushed to play the game and pushed to play the game, and holy shit, once they get an ounce of freedom, they're freaking done. They don't want to see their parents. They're out of there. I don't want to hit another damn tennis ball. But then when they realize that's how they pay their bills, ask Bublik, right? I think Bublik is one of these guys that can, you know, justify this kind of mindset. Many. But last time I checked, Bublik still did his interviews and was happy to do them anyway. But fast forward to now, you can't tell me that, number one, Osaka is indeed uncomfortable making a press conference after she won in the first round, much less letting her man flip off the middle finger to all of us beloved tennis fans that follow the game, are absolutely passionate about it. We bleed it, we sleep it, we dream it, we talk it, we teach it, we coach it, we live it. That's what we do. And I get to see one of the most special courts in the world. I don't care if you're doing it or not. And I get to see your middle-fingered boyfriend shooting it to all of us to lap up the photo. I promised then that I knew either a couple things were happening. Number one, she finally said, screw her parents. She made some money. She's out. She's bucking the world, right? But yet she's so immature, she doesn't know the decisions she's making that are hurting her. The middle finger caused her a legacy issue, did it not? That hurt her legacy, the middle finger thing, even though it wasn't her. Now she quit. Now she quit. Okay. People say, oh, well, what about the depression? And what about the anxiety? Okay, stop.
If she is, then I wouldn't play tennis.
This is my last statement, and I'll let you guys and Carla talk. If I'm running a business, which I have done and have managed countless people in the automotive industry for 15 years, if I had a technician that came to me and was like, hey, I'm too depressed, I can't work on this car. Myself as a manager has to say, I hope you find well, we have some stuff to help you departing, but in this mindset, I can't have you here working on people's cars. What if you leave a screw out and they pull out on the drive and they kill somebody? I have to let him go. Period. It's not personal, it's business.
Didn't your sister just go through, and I hate bringing this up, didn't she go through cancer and she had a job as a preschool teacher?
And got fired.
She was depressed.
And got fired. She had cancer.
I mean, that's who you have to feel sorry for. I don't feel sorry for Osaka. I feel sorry for the lady working at McDonald's. I feel sorry for the lady giving me the food. I feel sorry for those that have to struggle, you know, and they can't figure out a way to make more money. I feel sorry for those that are homeless. I feel sorry for those that have cancer. I feel sorry for those who lost a child. I mean, I do not feel sorry for an athlete that makes a lot of money. In her speech, and I don't feel like reading it, she says she's been doing this since 2018. Didn't Serena Williams apologize to her? Shouldn't Serena Williams be the one that's depressed? Because she lost many finals?
You're telling me I haven't read this, so she kind of worded it like this was results of Serena tirade from after the final?
No, she just said 2018 US Open.
That's what happened.
2018, that's what happened. Serena apologized to her. You should feel bad for Serena. Serena's been called fat. Serena's been told she's a has-been, that she should retire. She's lost many finals, that she's a mom, she's a diva. And I mean, she's lost many finals in an embarrassing way. I don't see her saying, and she's the biggest diva of all, saying, I'm not doing an interview. What about Andreescu, who got hurt, who's been injured, won a US Open, hasn't been the same, lost in the first round today? Did she do her interview today? What about
Benoit Pierre today?
What about the guy in tears?
He did an interview. That's Benoit Pierre.
That's what I'm saying. Did these guys do an interview? What about Muguruza, who got trounced today? Did she do her interview? Goffin got bagel. Did he do his interview? I'm just saying, don't find an excuse.
There isn't an excuse.
Don't tell me that it's mental health. None of us are doctors. If it's mental, then you wouldn't be doing anything. You wouldn't be able to get up, because I've seen people with depression. They can't get up. They don't smile in pictures. They can't be around family. They're not happy with themselves. They cannot function as a person.
Living in a room of total darkness and isolation, suicidal thoughts. And not saying this doesn't happen, but if this is going to be the excuse, and I'm not saying it's not an excuse. However, I mean, for the past year and a half, she's been doing photo shoots with thongs on, or skipping bikinis. She's been doing photo shoots and calendar shoots and all this other stuff. Are you telling me there's just one photographer taking these pictures, or 1,000 people taking the pictures?
Well, I like somebody.
You got to pick a better excuse than that.
I like Layla's point here. Why not fight for everyone to have equal opportunity to take a break and seek mental health? Instead of sending a message, I'll take time off because I can't afford it. Look, she took her stance on Black Lives Matter, right? She made her point.
Good for her.
She made her point. Great. You made your point. Awesome. You did it the right way, right? She's taking her stance on other things. Well, why not, in an interview, like I told B-Dog, why not sit there, and if they ask you a stupid question, say, I'm only going to answer questions that are smart. You know, if you want to know what strategies I should use, I'm going to answer those. But I'm not answering any stupid questions. And she could have made more of a stance, forcing journalists to ask better questions and not stupid questions.
So, look, you made a good statement earlier today as well. You indicated in your thoughts as a mother, and we have an oldest son that's not terribly far off from her age. Mm-hmm. You said it almost seems to you that it's like a little girl reaching out for something. Maybe maybe her first love had an issue or something.
That's what I said. You don't know. I said, because girls, when they fall in love, and this is factual, all you women know that. We've all been through it. You got your first serious boyfriend, you became a woman, something happens in the relationship, it hits you hard. Women don't react the same as men. Maybe she's dealing with that struggle and we don't know. I don't know. Don't play the French Open.
Yeah, I felt
if you don't like playing, don't play the French Open. If you didn't want to be there, don't show up. Give the opportunity to somebody else.
She found a way to kind of nail the French Open for it and forcing them to publicly make an apology for something they didn't do. Mm-hmm. The French Open, and we spent some time researching this before our 5-year-old, gouged his knee open and went to the emergency room. But the majors require the athletes to do interviews. They require them to do media, just as they do in the NFL. Just like, do you remember we brought this up before? Marshawn Lynch, the running back for the Seahawks. I love Marshawn. He's from the Bay Area where I'm from. He doesn't like to do it either. But he has been an icon for at least showing up, putting glasses on and a hat, and just saying, I'm here because I don't want to get fined, and just say that the whole time. And then when his time allotment is over, he gets up and walks off.
I would have said next question.
Okay.
Next question.
Whatever.
Next question.
But she found a way to use her
mental health. Yeah.
She found a way to use her childish innocence. She kind of reminds me of my sister in a way, no disrespect to her. But they're really good at sometimes playing the victim role when they really aren't really a victim at all. Naomi Osaka is a 3-time major champion. You can't tell me she has anxiety issues. She's won. I don't even recall now. I stopped.
2 U.S. Opens, 2 Australians, 4.
4. I stopped paying attention after the middle finger. I vowed to not watch her or care for her game anymore because of that. Because again, it wasn't her, but if you hang with dogs, you get fleas, right?
I like your comment on Olympique. I'm nervous for her mental health if Corday breaks up with her because rappers are known to cheat.
Yes. Okay. And this is a great comment too. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to be judgmental
There's nothing wrong with
about
rappers,
hip hop artists. Um, it's true. One thing, and from a amateur perspective, for a while I was going through college, there was times we would frequent hip hop clubs and get into freestyle battles, but it was just kind of a hobby thing, right? But it's a fast life. It's a fast life. Not saying all the guys that are on that scene are fast guys, but it's a fast life. It's late nights, it's early, it's travel, it's tours, it's keeping up. You got to do things to stay up. Anyway, it's a fast life. It's a quick turnaround life. It's quick money and you're done. Tennis isn't that way. Tennis is a slow life. It's methodical. It's planned. It's unique. It's time consuming. It's patient. And I feel like her yin and yang here that just doesn't mesh is mixing a fast life with a tennis life and realizing the shit don't mix. Look at what Agassi and Brooke Shields, name some other movie stars that had married tennis players, and I'm talking married them that didn't work out. It's a different lifestyle, and tennis and the fast life don't mix. I don't blame it on the rap artist. But again,
maybe her team.
But I do blame. You can't blame the parents because the parents are probably the ones that kept her enclosed for her entire life and made sure she was hitting tennis balls. I know the feeling, right? Some people love that growing up, and some people don't like it, right? I lived in a family where one of the kids didn't like it, right? So I know the feeling. And then when they get a chance for freedom, it's like all hell breaks loose, right? All hell breaks loose. I think that's what is occurring here. And I think that her excuse about her mental health may be something immature, stated, not thinking about the knee-jerk reaction, not thinking about shooting from the hip with her words. Will Rogers used to say, never pass up an opportunity to keep your mouth shut. You see what I'm saying? Letting the cat out of the bag is a lot easier than putting it back in. She could have just kept her mouth shut and walked off. Knee-jerk reaction. Again, she can't have won 4 majors and done 4 international press conferences prior to all those major finals, right? And then the press conferences afterwards prior to COVID-19 when there were fans, and then come out and now say you can't deal with the crowd anymore. It doesn't make any sense. And maybe there is a mental issue there. And maybe she is, kooky. But I really think she's just immature.
I like this. James Stevens says, Serena said that the media helped her be stronger. In fact, when asked about Osaka's situation, how many times have we seen Serena cry? They've been tough on her. The French have been tough on her. How many times do we watch this woman get booed every time she played Henin? Every single point.
Didn't she get into something with that guy Tiriac in Rome or wherever, Italy?
I mean, I know, B-Dog, you're on and you and I chatted that Serena's a different person. She's a lot stronger mentally than Osaka. He said, maybe this generation is weaker. I don't want to say that, but it just seems like it. Maybe Serena's dad taught her how to be strong. They had to struggle from the beginning. I don't know. I mean, Sharapova is another great example. There's so many players out there. Someone brought up Djokovic got bagel last French Open, still did the interview.
Good. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there are no excuses. No matter what you guys say, there is no excuse for this. It's part of your job. I think Wayne Chia sent us something about his job, and I'll make.
And this was a good comment.
And I'll say the example here that he brought up. Let's see. Imagine me. He's an
accountant in Singapore.
Imagine me telling my chairman, I like to audit, but I don't like the part where I have to report it to you quarterly. Can we don't meet?
Yeah, so he's basically saying, hey, he's part of an international corporation. He does auditing in Singapore, a very well-traveled individual, to say the least. And he's like, am I going to go into a meeting and just say, hey, I don't like chatting with you guys, so I don't want to meet you. I'm just going to go home and send it to you, but I'll be over here. It don't work that way. It does not work that way.
She can win the French Open one day. Mama do. I mean, she just has to work at it. I think Serena realized that she wasn't good on clay. And she took it upon herself to find a coach to help her on clay.
Agreed.
I mean, Americans are known not to be great on clay. They struggle with it. You got to get help. You got to learn how to play it or skip it. Wasn't there Agassi who used to skip grass because he used to say the grass is for cows, and then he learned how to play on it? I I mean, there are players that don't like certain surfaces. I hate clay. If I see a tournament that's clay, I don't play it. Pretty simple.
Different strokes for different folks. I know some people that say grass courts is the purest form of tennis. I know some people that say clay is the purest form of tennis. It's different strokes for different folks. It doesn't matter. This has nothing to do with the damn French, excuse my language.
But
it has nothing to do with the French Open nor the surface.
All the slams said that, what got to her was that all the slams said, if you continue with this, you will get penalized for it.
Yeah, this has nothing to do with the French Open. Unfortunately, the way this theatrical performance was played, and I really believe it was just a knee-jerk reaction, and now she's like, oh damn, why did I say this? Potentially, because if what she's stating is something medical in a way, and it's hard to now to see the ATP and the WTA and the ITF and all these different organizations and your sponsors are the player's boss. Okay, the tournament money's great, and she can retire already, whatever, no problem. But while she's playing and under those contracts, it's like my son at the Air Force Academy. We don't own him anymore. The Air Force owns him.
You calling me to cry? Well,
I can't. Okay, that's
signed up for
that's
that.
A problem that he would have. This wouldn't happen, obviously.
I'm just saying, but he signed up for that. You can't.
Yeah,
that's an example.
You got to reap what you sow here. You signed up for it. Deal with it. If that's a medical issue, then it's time for you to take time off the tour and not just blame that whole scenario on one little snafu on the poor French Open soil. It has nothing to do with it. It has to do with an immature statement that is going to haunt her for the rest of her career and after that, as well as the middle finger by her wonderful boyfriend.
I don't remember.
And that's a fact.
I don't remember her B-Dog talking about homesick affected her court. I just think that she needs to sit down with a psychologist, a psychiatric,
or
a teacher, a coach, teach her how to speak. I find that homeschool kids or kids who just play tennis and then do school on the side.
They don't socialize.
They don't socialize, and they have a huge issue communicating. We find that with our students all the time. They just have, it's like they don't know how to do it because they've been sheltered so much.
Yeah, we have quite a few students, and this isn't a bad thing necessarily. You can just tell. So we have a lot of homeschool students, and some of them socialize very well, but some of them come and we'll have other people show up, people coming and going, whatever. And you realize that they don't, you can tell by their body language, they don't feel comfortable. They'll cross their arms and they'll kind of bow out to the side. So, this is one of those things. And I think it has a kind of a group kind of vibe. I mean, there's a lot of things, a group of things causing this, her immaturity won.
First it was Sasha Bajin, he wasn't good for her or something.
Yeah.
So you got that out of it, now that's what I'm saying. It's just too many.
It's always something.
I like this comment here. Where is it? Like Barty. Alex Pierre says, like Barty, she stopped playing tennis and played cricket. That's right. She wasn't happy, so she stopped. And then this guy says, Barty's the model professional. It's a life of character.
Agreed.
Jose P says, yeah. Plus, young people today grow up with phones and online interactions.
Exactly.
So I really believe she has a public speaking anxiety. But you got to get some coaching and professional help, girl.
Agreed. Again, look, we can squash this subject on this. It's your job. Do it or don't do the job. And if you can do the job, great. But if you can't, don't. In the meantime, don't, blame this person for that, blame that person for this, blame this person for that, blame this person for that tournament for this, when it's ultimately you. It's your head. You get what I'm saying?
Again, if we were at the end of August playing the U.S. Open, none of that would have occurred.
Yeah, well, it didn't happen the last two U.S. Open she won, nor the last two Australian Open she won, but it happened after the first round win at the French Open. Anyway, beating a dead horse here. Enough said. If you can't do your job, don't do it. Someone else will, happily. Okay? We don't need any more stupidity from this camp, because it's not just her, it's the whole damn camp. It's a mess. Something's got to get fixed there. All right, enough said.
She might retire soon. Hey, that's on her.
I don't know.
If she retires, that's on her.
All right, I want to bring up the Roger Federer match really quickly. I don't think there's terribly much to talk about, except, it was good to see him back on the court. I think Federer looked relatively clean and crisp. I think his game was fresh. Now, he played a very long time. Veteran Istomin, who is an accomplished player and has been an accomplished player for a lot of years. I don't think even Istomin on his best day would have done any better than he did today against a fairly rusty Federer. They probably have a pretty large head-to-head. They've probably played each other 15 or 20 times, I'm guessing. I don't know. But they've both been around a while. The better player won. after watching this match today, and by the way, Roger Federer didn't even sweat, which is good. He's always been known for staying dry, right? His game is clean. But because of this win today over Istomin, is Federer now someone to watch here at the tournament other than his stardom, other than, Federer's on the court, we have to go see?
No, it's just because of who he is.
Okay.
You want to go see him. He plays Chilik. Alex VR said plays Chilik could be tough.
I agree.
I don't think so.
I do. I think it will be tough.
I disagree with you guys. First of all, Federer beat Chilik when Chilik was on top of the world and made him cry at Wimbledon. Chilik's at the bottom now. I don't see that happening. Chilik himself has confidence problems.
Do you think that Chilik is a little bit more match fresh, a little bit more
no,
match
he's played
ready?
a lot of clay. No, I don't see that. Clay is not his best surface. I don't see that. Federer's way better clay court player than he is.
Look, I'm calling that a close match.
I call that 3 to 4 sets.
I don't know. I mean, I hope.
I know for sure.
I hope it's a good match. I know we need a good match right now on the men's draw because there really hasn't been. I guess you could say, a match that I had to stop what I was doing to watch. But overall,
I watched Musetti. We all told you guys that Goffin would lose. Goffin.
Yeah, we called that
got
one.
bagel. I enjoyed watching Musetti play today. I think he could improve his serve. I told you his serve is predictable. He goes down the middle a lot. He needs to change that up and double faults too much still.
Look, with Musetti, here's a question. Did today, and we watched it, and we watched this match, did Musetti look that good, or did Goffin look that bad?
Goffin looked that bad.
That's what I'm saying. Goffin, for the longest time, has been a fine player, has a wonderful game, by the way. He's a great sportsman. I don't know if I've seen him freak out before. Maybe. I doubt it, though. But injury plagued. He had a left ankle sprain issue and bad a couple of times. I think one time was, the ATP Finals. It just came out of nowhere and busted it up again. Mm-hmm. Fine player, but just injury after injury after injury.
He's too small, too. I find his body too small for tennis. He's not. They're short guys, but they're strong. When I see Goffin, I don't see a strong guy.
Well, he's like a 6-footer, I think.
I don't think he's 6 foot. I'm talking about body-wise. He doesn't even look lean. He just looks like a normal club player.
He's a pretty damn good club player.
Not
like,
right
13 in the world or something? Mm-hmm. Okay, so Musetti. Really good game. Clean one-handed backhand. I find personally, I hit a one-hander. I find that his racket, this kind of sounds odd. Having racket speed is incredible. You want a fast racket. But sometimes I feel like he never slows it down when he could slow it down. I feel like his variety. I feel like his ability.
Learn how to play net?
Well, okay, we like to do things like chip and charge and slice and dice and put together points. I feel like when he gets it to the backhand side, and again, I know he gave him a bagel 6-0, but I have a real hard time believing he's going to do that, a bagel, or even anywhere close against the top 15 in the world.
Well, he plays Nishioka next. He has a chance to win that.
Yeah, Nishioka will give him a battle. Nishioka is
battled himself 4 sets against Sangha.
Yeah, Nishioka is a fighter. And by the way,
small guy.
And by the way, some of you, I don't think on YouTube, but on our Facebook group or whatever, we're talking about today that Japanese people are quote unquote inherently passive.
That was Vito.
And I'm like, what? Okay, so totally untrue. And I say this from a historical perspective. The Japanese, we go back to the samurais, we go to World War II, the kamikazes who would volunteer and their families would wish them well, knowing that they were going to die in glory to ram their aircraft into battleships and do it valiantly.
Hitchhiker said never heard of WW2.
World War II, WW2, World War II. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the Japanese are definitely not passive. They may be patient or whatever, but when shit hits the fan, they'll definitely hit you in the mouth. Nishioka, I think, has a chance against Musetti. Musetti is a good player, and he is on the come up. What is he, 19? Mm-hmm. But I think he needs to add variety to crack the top 20 in the world.
Whoever said that, yeah, 109, he's 5'11", but 2 soft strokes. That's what I mean. There's no weapons there. There's nothing there to hurt you. He's like a lesser version of David Ferrer.
But taller.
By a few inches.
David Ferrer's like a chicken nugget.
5'8", something like that.
He was like 5'1".
5'9".
I'm kidding. He's a shorty, though.
Let's talk about Sinner Herbert. Sinner Herbert. I was watching that match. Sinner could have lost today. He had a match point against him.
Yep.
I mean, what the hell was this guy thinking? He had him.
I told everyone on the show yesterday that picking center on a fantasy team, and I won't get into that here, I'll do that tomorrow, but picking center here as a 1-point player when there's 19 other people that are,
He didn't look good.
More veteran and more savvy at this point, I thought it was a bad idea. Remember,
yeah,
center did good last year, but look at the conditions. End of the year, no one was playing. Everyone was still freaked out about being in lockdown. It was a different story. It was a different story last year, just why I think that Swiatek will be a different story this year. You see what I'm saying?
She turned 20 today. I saw whoever was it, Bartoli gave her the interview.
I like Bartoli.
Yeah.
I really didn't care to watch her
She's
play.
gone through a lot.
Yeah.
And she gave an interview that saying happy birthday to her. She was playing with her best friend. She looked good. I didn't think she looked bad. I mean, I didn't like the way Sinner looked. Another one who lost was Sonego. Sonego went down.
We called that
Lloyd
one too.
Harris, yeah.
I called that yesterday as well. I told you Lord Harris could play and that could happen. It damn sure happened. Andreescu goes out 9-7 in a third set. Was not a shock to me at all.
She looked tired. She looked like she was struggling with herself. She just looked down. It was hard to, she's usually, to me, the tiebreaker queen. Like, she could always figure it out. She couldn't figure it out today. It was a tough day for her. I think I picked her.
Yeah. Not match ready.
See, that's who you should feel bad for. That's who you should feel bad for. Because instead of Osaka, she's dealing with mental problems. Here's a girl that should be dealing with mental problems. Here she was on top of the world, won the U.S. Open, injured. Coronavirus. And the girl's still playing.
Look, I can't.
I'm just saying.
I can't ever feel sorry
I'm
for
just
a
saying.
professional athlete. I mean, shit happens.
Justin, what I'm saying is,
we go through things.
what I'm saying is this girl has gone through more than Osaka has gone through.
But they're both quasi-millionaires. I'm not.
What I'm saying that Osaka shouldn't complain because here's Andreescu, wins the U.S. Open, hurt. Can't play. Coronavirus. It's like,
sounds
when
like.
can she get a break?
Okay, well, it sounds like Goffin's story. You don't feel sorry for Goffin? Well, you're going to say now he's the guy.
No,
so
my example is that there's
a professional athlete.
I'm not saying any of those people have more right to say that, hey, I'm mentally dealing.
That's
my point.
But even then, I mean,
that's my point. That these people, Dimitrov, another one, people like that, they've struggled so much. And you got Benoit Paire who was crying today. Gave a good match to
made his interview. Did his interview.
Casper Ruud, By the way, not impressed with Casper Ruud.
Yeah, Casper Ruud did not. Look, I know all the commentators during the match were indicating that, he played masterclass. I didn't buy that bullshit. He did definitely. They kept alluding to he's arguably the second best player on clay right now. I call bullshit on that. He didn't look spectacular to me. Djokovic looks 50 times better to make the second best player. I listen to bogus commentators all day long on the tennis channel talking about Ruud, he's arguably the second best player on
Boring
clay.
guy to watch.
Man, Karatsev better than him on clay, and he just began. Djokovic is better on clay. I mean, damn. Come on. By the way,
I'd rather watch Sanga play.
For the longest time, we have Carl and I, since we've done this for like 3 years, we've always mentioned that it's kind of sad when we see these draws come out for majors. And we always see two U.S. players meet each other in the first round, right? You got all these different countries, but you always have like two U.S. players playing each other in the first round. So I thought about this today. Actually, why? I was writing down scores for fantasy. And I noticed that Siniakova and Buzkova played, who are both from the Czech Republic. And I'm like, okay, on the women's side, I just found, two countrywomen squaring off. So I did the research. I got the draws. I looked through all the draws, and I found every team or every country that was playing each other in the first round on the men's and women's side.
American.
So we had Buzkova and Siniakova from the Czech Republic. We had Gaston and Gasquet, two Frenchmen. We had the other two. Okay, so I was like, geez, okay, maybe I'm wrong. It's just the USA, or maybe it's not always just the USA. A lot of times it's Serbia. Sometimes like Tekmanovic will play Lajovic, or Lajovic will play Jiri. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, let's check on the U.S. now this tournament. And lo and behold, we don't just have one. We have two. We had Tiafoe play Johnson, and we had Isner play Querrey.
What about Tiafoe played Johnson, Isner played Querrey.
Okay. Yeah. So we had two right off the bat. During the Medvedev and Bublik match, Paul Annacone was commentating.
Congratulations, Medvedev, for winning the first round.
Good for him. I hope he doesn't make the second week because I got to eat somebody's shoe.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope Federer doesn't win the French Open because then I got to pay this guy $1,100. Anyway, Paul Annacone was commentating, and Paul Annacone kind of, I guess, was kind of just talking freely. And I like Paul Annacone a lot, by the way. Good guy, good coach, a very good coach. But Paul Annacone mentioned that there was no U.S. men wild cards allowed in the tournament. And it kind of came out, and there was kind of a pause, and he said, well, I don't want to mention that because I'll get involved in like some politics, and I don't want to get involved in politics. So then they just went on with their commentary. So I was like, what the hell was that about? So I go on to Google and I start researching it. I found very little information, but I did find that no U.S. players were going to be wild-carded because of an agreement between the Australian, Canadian, and French tennis federations. Why is it? I don't know. I was able to find no information on that, but curious why that is. Does anybody know why these federations decided that there would be no U.S. wildcards? Is it because the U.S. men suck so bad? Is that probably justifiable? That they just suck that bad?
I don't know.
Whoever won their 2 square-off first-round matches, so Isner won. He might do well, I guess. But I can promise you, Steve Johnson, I like him too. He's been through a lot. His father died and a bunch of other stuff. But I don't think Steve Johnson's going to go very far either. So I guess just get rid of one so we can, something like that.
I guess.
Anyway,
I don't know.
I have no idea. All right,
Who else went out today? Konta went out.
Muguruza went out.
Muguruza went out. Ouch. Maybe she might want to save her millions, not pay Conchita Martinez. Maybe she just needs to change her game strategy because it's not doing much for her right now. Good for the youngster though. I mean, she went to go hug her parents or her mom. Her mom looked like she was her sister, by the way. All these Russian girls or European girls, their mothers always look good. Have you noticed that?
Well, I think tennis is generally, for the most part, most people around the game are usually pretty active, I guess you could say. You know what I mean, in terms of the players and usually.
Her mom look young.
Yeah,
just saying.
It'll keep you fit, right?
Definitely.
Muguruza match was okay, but it was a squeal fest. I could not stand to hear it. Good for the young girl Kostyuk to go see her family. Geez, she just beat a Grand Slam champion, right? So good for her. But the squeals were so bad it sounded like pornographic. I hate to be graphic here, but that's what it sounded like. It was just, it was crazy. Couldn't stand to watch it because of that. I was flipping back and forth between the Muguruza match and then I think the Federer match at this point in time, or it might have been Benoit Pierre and Musetti. But every time I would go back to see the Muguruza score, I couldn't stand it. I had to turn it. It was ridiculous.
By the way, I'm upset with those of you guys that said, pick Martic, pick Martic, pick Martic. Why did I listen to you guys? I know my tennis. I really know my tennis, but I listen to them.
Do you think that was now their fault?
Yes.
You could have said no.
Oh, I believe them, and I put Martic. Remember, one of the players withdrew, so I had to put Martic. I put Martic in.
Allison Risk withdrew, so they told you to take Martic instead.
What?
Lost. All right, look, guys, it takes some comments, whatever. Again, this.
Kenin won.
Who?
Kenin.
Oh, I lost. That's the only player I lost was Ostapenko because I chose Kenin.
Yeah.
If you're doing the fantasy team, again, I said this at the beginning. If you lost 3 or 4 people, you're still very much alive. If you lost 5 or 6, okay, probably not. Tomorrow, there's going to be 2 shows. Again, this one, apologies. It wasn't prepared. We were writing it, getting done, and then the 5-year-old went down in hospital, and so we're just kind of tired.
The quads. Okay, that's different. The quads wheelchair.
Yeah, that's awesome tennis, by the way. Cool. That's freaking badass.
Did you guys read
tennis.
the teams? Not yet, because we still have one more day of first rounds.
Yeah, the first round matches aren't done. What I'll do is see, I wrote a bunch of stuff, and
how did he cut his knee? You really want to know?
It's at the beginning of the video.
We
told the whole story.
He tripped over chicken wings that my husband left outside.
Yeah, I forgot that.
How embarrassing. How did your son fall? Oh, he was running. His sister was chasing him, and there was 2 bags of chicken wings on the floor.
So I was supposed to cook dinner, and I still cook dinner for half the family, but I had to thaw out some chicken, and I set it outside the front door. So the 5-year-old was being chased by the 8-year-old. And he takes off, or she takes off out of the door, jumps over to chicken wings. He didn't see the chicken wings and tripped over on them, and it blasted his knee open, nasty. So he had to have stitches. All right.
Or chicken wings.
So we are going to do an entire separate show tomorrow, so we don't have to bore everybody with fantasy team stuff if they don't play. But I will tell you this: I had written a leaderboard, and I just wanted to say this. But scores are irrelevant because the first round's not done yet. And a lot of people have a bunch of 1-point players, and a lot of people have a bunch of 2-point players. So the scores don't really get tight until like the second week. But there's one person out there, Colatelli. As of right now, doesn't have any players out. Hasn't lost anybody. But he has like 7 or 6 1-point players. So people with 2-point players will cash in pretty quick as long as he loses 1 or 2 of them. The other people on the leaderboard, real quickly. Myself, Justin, with 1 player out. The rest of these people I'm going to name only have 1 player out and are at the top of the leaderboard. Myself, Sister the Queen, Canadian tennis fan, Alex QER, William Spencer, B Riding High, and Stefan Nizovic. And I'll get into the whole scoring tomorrow once I tally everything up and get with Dushan and make sure we're on the same page.
Okay.
All right. Sorry for the lack of preparation. This wasn't the best, surely. But I told Carla I got to shower. I got to just put on my sleeveless shirt, get comfortable, because when this is over, we're crashing.
Yeah, I have to take some night work.
Yeah, lessons all day tomorrow. She woke up with a sore throat, so hopefully that doesn't proliferate. But teach all day tomorrow. We'll come home. We will do a live show as we normally do, hopefully with rest and preparation. And then we will do a second live show / maybe recorded and give out the entire detailed leaderboard for the fantasy teams. The top 2 winners win. And the tennis racket giveaway. About 7 or 8 people were knocked out of contention for the $250 because of Andreescu losing and Osaka quitting and TM losing the other day. But most people are still alive.
Tomorrow should be some interesting matches. Some people might go out.
We'll see.
You got Djokovic playing.
Nadal plays.
Nadal plays. Barty plays. Coco Gauff plays. Your favorite person, Pliskova, plays. Lavina plays. Let's see who else plays that I want to see. Look, y'all, some of you guys have Dima Noah.
Yeah, by the way, we didn't mention Serena Williams. Serena match was really rocky in the first set. Was rocky.
My daughter, I wanted her to watch Serena because I said I want you to see how early they take the ball, and she played really well up to 5-2.
And then tiebreaker came.
Was it tiebreaker?
Yeah, it went 7-6 in the first, right? Yeah, because she took the tiebreaker and let out this big yelping scream. Yeah! Screamed like, the walls were shaking from across the world. And she was screaming in Paris, and I heard it not through the TV in my yard.
My point to my daughter is, you see, she has fight. So
yeah. The only one problem I have with Serena's outfit.
Awful outfit.
But
she's in shape.
Her shorts were going in the booty. Her shorts were getting sucked up in the booty. So
She's got a big butt. What's wrong with that?
Dude, I couldn't even walk if that was rammed in my ass.
People with big butts don't feel it.
You don't feel nylon up in your butthole.
Some girls wear thongs.
You gonna play tennis in a thong?
You always tell me to.
You're not gonna do it though.
Hell no.
See? All right, guys. Lack of preparation on our side. Sorry for the junk show. Every dog has their day. It's like you go see a band.
I love her shoes.
Some nights they play like shit.
I love her shoes though.
Yeah, her shoes are pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, adios. We'll see you twice tomorrow. In comments, let us know if you would rather us do the full fantasy team breakdown live or recorded, and we'll do that. Just let Carla know, and we'll do it either way. I like them live better because you can just get through it instead of editing at the end.
All right. Good night, guys.
See ya.